Hello guys, today we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic, which is the 7 basic classes of food and the taste of food. So stay with me as I show you more details. Before we start, I'm going to give you some notes under this topic before I start giving you the 7 classes of food. Okay, so the 7 classes of food are your carbohydrates, your protein, your fat and oil, your mineral salts, your vitamins, your roughages, your water. So note all this. The form or type of energy contained in food substance is called the potential energy. And the second one is that the food substance which possess the highest calorific value is lipids, or you can also call them the fat and oil. So the third one is that the instrument or device used to measure the calorific value in food is called the food calorimeter or the bomb calorimeter. Yes. So that's what I want to give you in this notes. Okay, let's add this to it. The end product of protein breakdown or digestion in the body is called the amino acid. So all these are just the notes before I start the main explanation of the 7 classes of food. So the last one is that when protein break down, it will break down to peptones. So it will break from the peptones to the polypeptides, from the polypeptides to the amino acid. So but based on the advance in biology, so from the protein to proteases, from the proteases to the peptones, from the peptones to the polypeptides, and the polypeptides to the amino acids. Yeah. So the deficiency of protein leads to kwashiorkor in children and marasmus in infants. Yeah. So let's look at carbohydrates. So carbohydrates is made up of carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen. And the main type of carbohydrates are your sugar, e.g. your starch, your cellulose. All those are your carbohydrates. And the main function of carbohydrates is that they serve as the main source of energy. That is why you hear carbohydrate is an energy-giving food. Yes. And they are also essential for the synthesis of vitamin, lipids, and proteins in the human body. Good. So there is what we call the sugar and the simple sugar under carbohydrates. So these sugar are of 2 forms, okay, which is the simple sugar, which is the monosaccharides and the disaccharides, and complex sugar, which is the polysaccharides. So these simple sugar are the most common sugar found in the body of an organism, and it's a 6 carbon sugar called the hexose, and also know that they are the main energy giving molecules in the body of an organism, and their molecular formula or their chemical formula is given as C6H12O6. An example of this simple sugar is your glucose, fructose, galactose. Yes. So you know I said the simple sugar is made up of the monosaccharides and the disaccharides. So the example of the monosaccharides is your glucose. So when you see the disaccharides, you know that normally means 2. So if you want to get your disaccharides, you need to join 2 monosaccharides, and you know mono means 1. So glucose plus glucose will not give you a disaccharide. Yes. So you see that glucose plus galactose will give you lactose. Glucose plus fructose will give you sucrose, which is a disaccharide. So when you join 2 monosaccharides, glucose plus glucose, will give you a disaccharide, which is what? Maltose. Yes. So that's how to get your disaccharides. Now let's look at the polysaccharides. Polysaccharides are under the complex sugar, right? And they can be broken down into simple sugar by acid and enzymes, and it is called the hydrolysis. Yes, you can break complex sugar into simple sugar like your monosaccharide, which is your glucose, and your what? Your glucose, your fructose. Yes. So let's look at the proteins. The proteins help in replacement of worn out tissue, help in formation of enzymes, and they are also regarded as the body building food. An example of this protein is your meat, your milk, your egg. So you see, this explanation is very, very easy to understand because these things are the basics of biology. Yes. And the end product, like I said earlier, of protein is the amino acid. From your protein to proteases to peptones to polypeptides to amino acids. And deficiency of protein results in kwashiorkor in children and marasmus in infants. So that's just it. So when protein is deficient in the body, it results in kwashiorkor in children and marasmus in infants. So let's move on to the fat and oil. So the fat and oil compose mainly of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and the end products, or let's say the end breakdown of fat and oil, is called the fatty acid and the glycerol. You know, I said the end product of protein is called the amino acid. Now, the end product of fat and oil is called the fatty acid and the glycerol. An example of this fat and oil is your margarine, your butter, your cheese, your castor seed oil. All those are fats. And the function is that it provides energy for the body. I made a video not quite long where I talked about this same fat and oil, that fat and oil is the main source of energy. That means fat and oil, that means among all the classes of food, fat and oil gives the highest source of energy. Yes, and that's very true. So fat and oil also act as solvents for fat-soluble vitamins and hormone. Yes, it serves as insulator for the body. Yes, that's why those people that are fat, they tend to have more heat. I don't know, but yes. So obese people are supposed to avoid lipids, too much lipids. They must avoid it. Lipid food, yes, because it makes them bigger, fatter, and heavier. And it also adds cholesterol, which can attack their hearts and make them inability to breathe well. They cannot breathe well. So that's it though. Yes, and they must exercise regularly. Now let's move on to the water. So water is what will I say now? Water is made up of the most of the body mass of human body, and the protoplasm also of cell. Yes, you know, I said it in my cell class that the main component of the protoplasm is water. Yes, so that's it. Water is a medium for all chemical reactions. So without water, no chemical reaction will be able to take place. And it brings about transportation of substance around the body of an organism. So let's look over to the roughages. The roughages brings about peristalsis. And deficiency of roughages results in constipation. Yes. So the deficiency of roughages results in constipation, and it's also the food which are indigestible. So your body cannot digest roughages, so your body will have to excrete them out. Yes. So let's look at the vitamins. The vitamins are bicatalysts that help to increase or promote the rates at which chemical reaction occur. Yes. So that's the function of the vitamin. They help to increase or promote the rate at which chemical reaction occur in the body. And vitamins were discovered by a scientist called the Frederick Hopkins. And there are two types of vitamin that you need to know is very, very important, which is the fat-soluble vitamin and the water-soluble vitamin. So these fat-soluble vitamins are made up of the vitamin A, D, E, and K, which is the ADEC as the mnemonic. And water-soluble vitamin is made up of the vitamin B and C. An example of vitamin are your fruits, your vegetables, your milk, your egg, palm oil, etc. So deficiency of vitamins will result in ill health. Yeah, your health will no longer be balanced. So which one have I not mentioned? Okay, let's look at the 7 classes of food again. Carbohydrates, protein, fat and oil, mineral salts, vitamin, water, and roughages. So I think I've not mentioned mineral salts. So the mineral salts helps to balance body fluid. Yes, the body fluid in your body helps to balance it. Transmit nerve signals also. Regulate chemical reaction also. So that's it though. Let's look at the tests for various food substance. The test for various food substance. That's the last thing we're going to look at in this class today. So the test for various food substance. Let's look at the 3 of them, which is the main components. The main components in your body. You know, fats, proteins, and carbohydrates are one of the main components of the 7 classes of food, and even the main components in your body. So let's look at the test for proteins. So you can use the Millions test to test for proteins, and this Millions test give a red color precipitate to Millions reagents. Yes. And the second one is that you can also use the Biuret test to test for protein. It gives a violet color precipitate to Biuret test. So when you are testing for protein, you use the Millions or the Biuret test. And the Millions test give the red color, and the Biuret test give the violet color. So you can also use the xanthoproteoic test, which is also known as the triazonitrate 5 acid test. And these tests give protein a yellow color. So quickly, let's look at the fat and oil. What you can use to test to fat and oil. You can use the paper test to test for fat and oil. Yes. And the lipid form a translucent green. It form a spots. You just be seeing spots on it, a green spot on it on filtered paper. And you can also use the Sudan 3 test to test for fat. And this Sudan 3 test gives a red stain on fat and oil. Yes. So when you see a red stain, you know that fat and oil is present. So you can use Sudan 3 test to test for fat and oil. Now let's look at the carbohydrates. What you can use to test for carbohydrates. Yes. So you can use the Felix test to test for carbohydrates, or the Benedict test, and they both give carbohydrates an orange-red color precipitate to Felix reagents and Benedict solution. So they both give a orange-red color precipitate. Please note this before we end the class. The following test may be used to know if a substance is carbohydrate or a non-reducing sugar. Yes. So how can you be able to know if this thing is carbohydrate or and a non-reducing sugar? Yes. So the first one is that you should add dilute HCl. Listen, when you add dilute HCl, if you add it to a complex sugar, that's the polysaccharide, right? It will be hydrolyzed into simple sugar, which is the monosaccharide, like the glucose, which is a monosaccharide. Then add Felix or Benedict reagent to the simple sugar, like the glucose. So the formation of an orange-red color precipitate confirms the presence of carbohydrates. If you want to be able to know if the substance is carbohydrates and a non-reducing sugar or a non-reducing sugar, you should add a dilute HCl to a complex sugar, That will now be hydrolyzed into a simple sugar, which is your monosaccharides, like your glucose. Then add a Felix Benedict reagent to the simple sugar, like the glucose. Then the formation of an orange red color precipitate confirms the presence of carbohydrates. Yes, the form of carbohydrate which must first be hydrolyzed before they show any effect or Fehling's or Benedict reagents are your complex sugar. Yes. And the second one is that you can use the iodine test also. So carbohydrates, let's say carbohydrates which is a complex sugar, e.g. starch, give a blue-black color to iodine test, a black precipitate to iodine test. So this is how you'll be able to know if a substance is carbohydrate. Okay, so this is all that we're going to talk about in this class. See you guys in my next class, and don't forget to click the subscribe button and on the notification bell so that anytime I post you are going to see it. So bye.